Hi there, this is Talia the dietitian, and today I'm answering a question from Brittany P, who is a member of Talia's Table, and she submitted this question through the forum for topics that you want me to answer on YouTube. So I'm going to read you her question. It is how to deal with a sick, ill, or teething child when the schedule isn't happening. Do we stick to it as much as possible or just go with what they need and want? The child only wants to eat certain foods like soft liquids or hard and crunchy. So I'm not sure how old the child is here, so I'm gonna give some guidelines here for like the baby crowd and then for the older crowd. So for babies that are under about 9 months old, you're not really gonna have so much of a schedule yet. Around 9 months is when you probably are starting to see more of a breakfast and lunch and possibly dinner already happening. But really before that, if it's 1 or 2 meals, just pick a time that works for your child, that they seem to be in a good mood, they're well rested, you've either breast or bottle fed them before, because at that point they don't quite know how to satisfy their hunger, they might not be swallowing all that much. So you want them to be fed before giving them food, which sounds strange, but that's how you need to do it when they're really young. So if you've got a child in that 9 to 12 month zone, that's kind of where I would be quite flexible. If they've completely skipped a meal but they seem hungry half an hour later, offer the same foods again and see how that goes. For a child who is older, so between 12 and 14 months and up, and that really depends on your own child, but you really do want to stick to what your schedule is. And I have another video on how to create the perfect schedule that works for your family, and I will link it in the description and at the end of this video. Highly recommend you watch that because schedules are really, really important. Children need this predictability, and we don't want them just be eating all day long. So at that age, 12 to 14 months, keep to your schedule, but in the same way that when you have a child who is sick and teething, they might be sleeping more and things are a little bit off schedule. So being flexible is something that I do recommend as well. So if they completely skip a meal and then an hour later, it's not quite snack time, see if you can kind of push it out. But if they're really showing you that they're hungry, give them whatever their next meal is and make it at that time. Things may be a little bit off, but still try to stick to the time between meals being consistent of about 2 hours up to about 3.5, depending on your child. So keep a semblance of a schedule and keep it flexible to meet the needs of your child. We don't want to be starving babies or toddlers. That's not the point of a schedule, is to make sure that they are hungry when it is time for a meal or a snack. So in terms of the schedule question, that's the answer. And then in terms of only wants to eat certain kinds of foods, I really do recommend that you give a variety of flavors and textures at each meal or mini meal snack. That is important, even if they won't, if you're sure that they won't touch, say, the piece of broccoli, still put a small piece on the plate, because they may surprise you, and that today might be the day that they decide, oh, that texture seems really great. But if you can tell that they really have a preference for the soft or the crunchy textures, make sure you give them something with that texture in the meal as well, or snack. But continue to offer variety with different flavors and textures. So you don't want to only be offering the same foods over and over again. And let's say one of the foods that you are offering that they are liking very much is yogurt. Give the yogurt in a variety of different ways. Give it with fruit, give it as something savory. You can sprinkle some dill and a little bit of garlic in there and make it a dip. You could mash up some fruit to go in there and change the color of it. You could offer it in a smoothie or make an ice pop with it to give different textures. So you're using the same ingredient in different ways, and that helps keep things varied and prevents more selective eating, because a problem that parents tell me a lot is after they've had a sick child or a child who has been teething, it's really hard to get back to the schedule that you had before or back to the variety of foods that your child was eating before. And one of the ways that we can prevent that from the outset is by not changing things too much, meaning that you keep offering variety, a lot of variety, different flavors and different textures at every meal and every day. and know that you are doing a really great job. This is a tough time for the child as well as for the parent, and you are doing a great job, and it is really hard. So give yourself, you know, a little bit of grace. If they do have yogurt twice in the same day and it looked exactly the same, that's all right. You can try tomorrow. Put some cinnamon on it, mix in some cocoa powder, some plain cocoa powder. That changes the taste, it changes the look, and it gives a variety of different nutrients. So you're not serving the exact same thing that looks exactly the same at every meal. So that's what I recommend there, and I really hope you have found that helpful. And if you have, I would love if you would subscribe to my channel. I have a new video coming out on different nutrition topics, and I would really love to know what topics you want to see on YouTube. You can join Talia's Table for as little as $4 and contribute and tell me what topics you'd like, and in doing that you're helping support this free content that I can make it accessible to parents worldwide. So thank you so much for watching. This is Talia the dietitian. Bye bye. I sure hope you enjoyed that video. Here are a couple more to help you out.